Coffee drinker, huh?
Boys want some coffee?
Somebody said something about coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee is the #1 drink in the world.
Hey, Dave, you want some coffee?
Yeah. Just French press.
He's been down in the basement drinking coffee for about the last 4 hours.
Tell him he gives me a cup of coffee, I'll answer his questions.
Rashford!
The fuck you looking at? Come on, make that coffee to go. Let's go.
Good morning.
Morning, everybody. We got the fresh pot.
Fresh pot for all the boys out there. Hopefully somebody's awake and joining us this morning. This Schmitty and Christian, Skaters on Baseball, and we're doing our first ever morning edition and coffee inspired, but the Giants are on fire and we just want to talk about it because it's exciting, man. They're 12-4. Adames and Fitzgerald hit their first home runs yesterday. It's on. It's on. Let's I got a little something here I want to do for my first comment of the day. Misbehaving. Let's pour him some coffee. Thanks for joining.
Nice. Sounded like a large. That game yesterday in Philadelphia was just off the hook. I mean, Landon Roop comes in and he's just instantly on the ropes, and it's just looking like one hit, one walk away from getting pulled in the first inning. And then the Giants just come roaring back, and what a win. I mean, not just to go ahead, but to keep piling on and end up getting to double digits in Philly against the Phillies. I mean, it was fantastic. And
with the Boo Birds.
Yeah. Adames getting the proverbial monkey off his back. I think he's going to start hitting now. You know, he probably slept really well last night after doing that, you know. And then Fitzgerald, a single away from the cycle. Come on now. So
yeah, it's good
a lot to be optimistic about. Yeah, and our friend of the show, Mark the Shark, is actually in Philly, and he's going to the game today.
That's
so
right.
That's a stoke. And like, if anybody brings the positivity to backing the Giants, Mark's definitely up there on the list. So psyched to see him out there.
We got to get him to be our roaming reporter from Philly or something. I'll send him a DM. But yeah, in the news, it's been all over interviews, and people are talking about it. The one and only, the GOAT, Barry Bonds, was in the cage with Fitzgerald and teaching him to swing the bat down and drive it and get the backspin. And Fitz said he's been working on that since he got to New York. And also he did have a little hiccup with the back problem in spring training. He said it kind of threw him out of whack and made him do some, like, he was swinging, he knew he was out of whack. So let's see if both him and Adames are sparked. It would be great to see those guys doing what we were hoping they'd do. And also Chapman needs to get on board, and I know he will. These guys are streaky hitters, especially Chapman. He'll strike out a bunch, but then he'll hit like 5 home runs in 2 weeks or something. So the great news is, I don't know how you were feeling, but the Giants are down 3-0, and I don't turn the game off. It's not over. We know we can score some runs. We know that this is a fighting team, and that is what, I mean, Bay Area baseball like that, I'm 100% in.
Yeah. Yeah. And the trajectory of this season, obviously we're not even 20 days into the season yet, but that feeling, that notion that the Giants can get down a couple of runs early in the game and you don't feel like, oh, I gotta get away from it. You know, like last year and the year before and the year before that. I mean, it was just this kind of like, oh, if we get behind by 1, 2, maybe 3 runs, this game is done. But not only are the fans kind of feeling that difference, I think the team is feeling that difference, you know, and to do what they did, like they're down 3 runs in the first inning. A lot of teams just curl up and die. The Giants just went about their business. And as far as Fitzgerald and the back thing goes, you know, he talked a little bit about it, you know, getting some bad habits. And I think that people talk about pitching mechanics all the time. They don't talk a lot about swing mechanics. And it's equally important, right? Like we watched Yaz struggle when he was going for this undercut swing. He's trying to get the launch angle, and as soon as he flattened his swing path out, he's smoking the ball. He's hitting to all fields. I mean, he hits off a lefty yesterday, a home run, and it's just, yeah, when things are clicking and when guys are kind of like relaxed, that's when good stuff happens. And I think that's what's going on right now. And I think they feel like they're a little bit unbeatable right now, which is great.
Yeah, I think they definitely can play with anyone. A lot of people were saying they weren't playing tough teams. Well, I'm looking over at San Diego and they're sweeping the Rockies. And so there's a lot of teams that are playing lesser teams. We went through Houston, we went through New York, we're in Philly. I mean, besides the Padres and Dodgers, like we're with the toughest teams right now, and we're arguably in the middle of our toughest road trip of the whole season. You know, you got to go back east, you got to go through Yankee Stadium, go through Philly, and then come all the way across country and hit Anaheim, who's been playing well too. So that's a long road trip against some pretty tough teams. If we come back above 500, we both said that, Christian, we're hyped, right? Like 6-4, 7-3, whatever it is. Like we are like, let's go. And then we got Milwaukee and Texas coming in. I mean, it doesn't stop. This is a pretty tough schedule out of the gates, and the Giants are handling it.
Yeah, they are definitely. And you know, you look at the Dodgers and the Padres, they've had a relatively soft schedule so far. So for the Giants to be keeping pace and right at the top of the division, going through this sort of like buzzsaw of the first part of the season. I mean, a lot of people discount the Reds, but the Reds pitching is lights out. You know, we saw that. And the Mariners they've got a lot of big superstars that can put a hurting on you real quick. And, you know, the Giants managed to hold them down. So yeah, it's a tough road trip, but to start the road trip, the first 4 games, you're 3-1, like you're going to carry that optimism through the rest of the game. So by the time you get to like game 8, 9, 10, guys are tired. That positivity, that attitude about, you know, we can win any game is gonna carry them through the fatigue, I think. And there's, you know, we were kind of discussing it last night a little bit on Eric and Glenn's show, the idea of, you know, maybe giving Ramos a day off, getting Matos more at bats, you know, jiggering the lineup around a little bit, just to get some guys some rest because they're on the road with no days off, you know.
Sure.
But I'm not worried about it. Like, I'm not worried about guys getting tired. And like, look at what Landon Roop did last night. He saved the bullpen by managing to gut it out, you know, get past that first inning and then go to the 5th and carry it rather than having to be yanked in the 2nd or the 3rd and have Bivens come in and then all the bullpen guys are getting too much work on the road. I mean, he saved it, right?
He did.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And what's also huge for me is the extra runs that they scored late in the game. A lot of times the Giants score a bunch of runs early and then they just are dormant for the rest of the game. And what scoring extra runs did for me, which was, I think this is probably the biggest part of the game for me, is it knocks Walker out. He doesn't need to come in because there's not a save opportunity. And it gives Duvall a chance to right his ship a little bit and build some confidence because he's still in there in the 9th inning. He's facing the Phillies, but like throw strikes, bro. Trust your stuff. And you got some good stuff. And I think those little things and working on the mechanics, we need him. You know, it's like we don't want to just throw him away. We need him to figure it out. So I'm rooting for him, and he looked a lot better last night. I know that there was no pressure, but those are the steps that's going to get him back to being able to handle like a pressure situation. So all around the board, I was really stoked. It was really good to see Fitzgerald hit the triple. The home run's great, but like he's a triples guy. Look how fast he is. He hits it off the wall and you're like, oh, he's going to 3rd. Done.
He could have been in standing on that, but he went in head first. Anyway, just to make sure. I mean, there was no question that he was getting in there standing up. The thing about Duvall, like, you know me, I've kind of been on the dump Duvall train for a while because I just felt like he'd completely fallen off and lost it. But what I saw yesterday, and I don't know if you noticed this, I think it was the first time he hit 100 miles an hour with a pitch in a year, right? Yep. And so for him to actually trust throwing the heater, that's a big step forward for him. Now, if he sustains it and he can show up like he did yesterday, and I think his last outing he wasn't too bad either. So maybe that's a good sign. He's trending in the right direction. And I mean, I think Doval was always at his best when he threw a lot of fastballs. You know, like he threw challenge pitches. Is like, I'm gonna put it up there 101, 102. Go ahead, try and hit it. You know, and the swagger that comes with that, I think, is part of what made him so good. So if he recaptures even a little bit of that, he's going to help this team a lot. You know, so we'll see. We'll see.
I think so. I think if he's confident with his fastball and can throw it in there more often, then the team can't sit on the slider. And then that's when the slider is way more effective, because you're waiting for 100-mile-an-hour fastball, which means you're kind of swinging on the release. Like you can't wait on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So if you start swinging and then an off-speed slider comes in, you're out of whack. And that's where he was really dominating his all-star year. I was curious what your thoughts are, because I'm looking at these firsts with Adames and Fitzgerald, their first home runs, and I'm thinking we need another first, and that would be Verlander today getting a win. How important do you think this game is for Verlander?
I think it's big, and I think his, you know, after listening to his post game after his last start, he's definitely not happy with where he's at. He feels good physically, and he said that the stuff is there, but he's not getting through. He's not keeping the pitch count down, and he's unhappy about that. And he's, you know, to be fair, I mean, Verlander has gotten beat by some just kind of fluky, softly hit balls, you know, balls that were hit in between guys. I mean, it's not like he's given up a lot of home runs and things like that. It's just, sometimes it's that way, you know, guys hit the ball where other guys aren't, and suddenly you got two guys on base or the base is loaded with only one out. And it's like, okay, now I really have to make a pitch. And I think he's capable of it. So I'm optimistic about what he's going to do today. Hasn't faced the Phillies a lot, and they got some big lefty bats, but you know, the way things are going right now, I think the attitude in the clubhouse is lifting everybody up. And so I think it's going to lift him up too. You know?
Yeah, I think if Giants win today, there's a good chance they could sweep. I mean, Robbie Ray and then Hicks the next two games. It's you know, our pitching is it really adds confidence to the game. Like we were saying, you know, it's kind of the old days where you score 4 or more runs, you feel like you're going to get the win.
Yeah. And I think right at this moment in time, I'm actually a little more concerned about Hicks than I am about Verlander, because I feel like Hicks provides the power. So if he's grooving fastballs and guys are seeing it, they're going to knock him around. Whereas Verlander, he's got that weird curveball and he's got some off-speed stuff that really kind of can fool hitters a little bit more. So hopefully Hicks is like up to the task, and his next outing is a little bit better. You know, it's you know, the offense is kind of carrying it right now, and the pitching has been just strong enough to keep things going. So like the combination of those two things, you know, you never have to worry about the defense with this team. Everybody out there is just solid on defense, right? So it's just the pitching and the offense, and the offense so far has been good, you know. And like you said yesterday, add-on runs are huge, you know, especially when you're playing away from home. You're playing against a team that's got a lot of sluggers, and they can creep right back up. I mean, look, they were trying to get back in the game yesterday. You know, the Phillies were like, they got within 1, and then the Giants said, no, sorry, we're not letting this happen. So yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Hey, good morning, Pine Needle. Pull out your coffee cup and we'll get you a pour. There you go. I'm feeling kind of like the Cleveland Indians at the time, but Guardians now fans were feeling when you get to about the 6th inning with the lead, you kind of feel like you're going to win. I think our bullpen has really made me feel like we just need to be ahead going into like the 7th, 8th, 9th, and these guys are going to shut the door down. There's been a lot of haters out there on Rodgers, and he just continues to come in and say 1, 2, 3. Look at me. This is how we do. And Walker has just been. This guy, he was like making keys for a minute, like, and thinking his baseball career was going to be over. And then you got Miller, that I've said I'm a little like, okay, it's Miller, but a little bit for me. I feel like Miller and Duvall are kind of like, Duvall's a little sketchier than Miller, but they're both just like, ooh. But Randy Rodriguez, step him up, keep putting him in more and more pressure situations. Let's see him evolve. He's going to have some hiccups, and we can't just throw him away at the first hiccup. I think Fitzgerald said it in the interview last night, which was, I thought that was amazing too, which was, hey, if this was last year, I probably would be sent down already. And the confidence these guys have given is bringing confidence to myself and knowing that I'm going to get out of this instead of like waking up in Sacramento like I would have last year. So I think the Giants haven't made any moves yet, which is kind of unprecedented for this era of Giants baseball.
Yep. It's the Buster Posey effect. Buster played the game at the highest level possible for years. He played with guys. He knows what team dynamics are like. He knows what happens when one of your best players goes into a slump and he just can't get out of it. You got to pick that guy up. And I think he understands, like, he and Melvin have put together the best roster of the guys that they have available. They have a lot of strength in Sacramento if they need to make a change. But right now, it's kind of like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Right. And this team is not broken. And the guys that have been, Ramos' bat has been a little cold the last few games. Chapman's gone a little cold the last few games. Other guys are stepping up to get it done, and I think that takes the pressure off somebody when, hey, things aren't going particularly well the last week. The stretch has been tough, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of just not really meeting the ball and getting those hits. And the next guy in the lineup is just doing it. And it makes you feel like, man, the pressure's off. I just need to relax and play my game. And I think that's what makes great teams. And it feels like this group of guys, they all really, really like each other and they all really respect each other. And so it's just not a question of like, oh, that one guy's not doing his job. It's like, I'm going to get the job done so that when he comes back to do the job, then we're really on fire. And that's it's just great, man. It's early, but I just love what I'm seeing, and I like the attitude and, the sort of joyfulness that's going on with this team and with Melvin. I mean, the press conference about Yaz and, the first homer that Yaz has hit off a lefty since 2023. And Melvin's response was like, oh, I guess I should have pinch hit for him then. Like, he's laughing, right? So, I mean,
it'll be interesting to see what happens today, because we were talking about yesterday, and it was the old Bochy adages. You hit a home run, you're playing the next game, but are they going to play him against a left-handed starting pitcher? It'll be interesting to see who gets the day off. I think everyone is agreeing that we need to give Matos more time, but if they put Matos in, who gets the day off? Is it Ramos? Is it Yaz? Is it Jung-Hoo Lee? Is it Wilmer? Those are pretty much the four positions. The 3 outfield and the DH is where you can slide Matos and interchange the players. I think for me, whatever they do, if it's only 1 or 2 tweaks, but keeping the nucleus together like they have been, just keep doing that all year. Make one guy can be out every once in a while, but you got like the most of the time. It's like you're going to the ballpark and you're like, I know who's leading off, I know who's batting 4th, and I know who's batting 9th. Like, because that's the set lineup. It's not this. Do you remember when Gabe Kapler was manager and he was playing games with the opposing team and he wouldn't announce the starting lineup until like 20 minutes before the game or something? You're going on there to be like, who's playing today? I want to go to the game, but I don't want to see, Beatty out in left field. I want to see Ramos. Like, who's playing?
Yeah,
So,
I didn't pay for this ticket to see Meckler, right?
yeah.
So and this is the thing, like we've been talking about this now for a couple of years running, which is like this team needs everyday players. We want to know, 1 through 9, including the pitcher, like we want to know every day, like these guys are in the lineup more often than not. These are starting everyday guys. And it's kind of a luxury when you have that. Then you have these weapons in the dugout and on the bench. You got Casey Schmidt, you got Matos, you got guys that they can be role players. They can take over on a day where a guy needs a day of rest. You can potentially be juggling it where Matos gives Ramos a day off here and there. And then on top of it, there are games where Matos starts in right, and then Yaz comes in the late innings for defense if he needs a day off. There's a lot of ways to kind of juggle it around. And then, if they're facing a lefty, maybe Wade gets a day off. Casey Schmidt plays it first, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean the whole thing, and then you've got Christian Koss, who's like he's got his first major league hit under his belt now. Guy's fast, plays good defense, real gritty. Like they got all these options, and so having this daily roster is great. And then you got stuff to back it up with. So I think that's the way it should always be. Your bench is strong and just waiting, and you can give guys rest and not worry about it.
Yep. I think the formula is definitely, I'm in favor of it. It's been cool to watch. And I got to give a shout out to my boy, Landon Roop. There it is. Roop with the win. I wanted to go through some scores yesterday because the Dodgers beat the Rockies 5-3. The Padres beat the Cubs 10-4. And I don't know if the Diamondbacks played. I don't think they did. So the National League West is by far the toughest division in baseball right now. The top 4 teams are above 500. The Giants are 12-4, and they're a game and a half out of first. That shows you like how hot this is, but we're looking down on the Dodgers, looking down on the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies are mathematically out of it already. So it's been, a lot of people are saying, oh, you guys are winning, but look, everyone else is winning too. Well, it's like, we got to get into the mindset of not worrying about what other people are doing and worry about what we're doing. If we take care of business, that's all that we can do. And all the other stuff will fall in where it may. But people are so concerned about like, well, look at what they're doing. Look at what he did. It's like, that's not in our game. Our game is our team versus this team. And these are the wins. These are our losses. These are our players. And that's what I'm focused on. I don't care about like the guy that they brought in over down south and he's, he pitched a great game. What it's like, who cares? It wasn't against us.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's been this all the doubters, in the off season, and the people who are super negative about the Giants didn't do enough and all of these things. And now they've sort of slid back to the secondary position, which is, there's no sustainability in this. And our friend over at Giant Sports Talk Live, who was wearing a WNBA shirt last night on the stream, he is still saying that the Giants are only going to have 79 wins this year. He's saying that this is not sustainable. And I beg to differ with this opinion, right? It's like, this team is approaching each day, each game as its own microcosm. Like, we're going to go out, we're going to win today. And that was kind of Hunter Pence's old thing back when he was with the Giants, was like, win today. Let's win today, And so when you have that kind of focus, it's like, yeah, don't worry about the rest of the division. And you want to talk about sustainability. Do you think the Padres can really sustain what they're doing right now? I mean, they haven't played anybody tough yet. Tatis has
played a lot of games at home too.
They played a ton. They're what, 11-0 at home or something, which is just crazy. But that tells you how many games they've played at home, because we're only 15 games in, something like that, 16. So yeah, I sustainability with the Giants. I mean, the way that they're playing is great. And the other point that, Glenn was trying to make last night was, oh, well, there was that play at second, which, they got an extra base and then Wade scored and then this and that. It's like, yeah, but then Fitzgerald comes up and hits the bomb, right? And then Adames comes up and hit the home run. And baseball is, as Misby pointed out, you have to capitalize on other teams' mistakes. That's it's a huge part of the game, right? It's like exploiting the flaw. And so, the other team makes an error, you got to capitalize on that. If it advances a runner, you got to get that guy home. It doesn't just happen. You got to make things happen. So, yeah, I think it's sustainable, and I think that as long as they're attentive and they're alert and everybody's super focused, this team's going to be successful. There's no doubt about that. And the only thing that really I'm concerned about is if there's injuries, and right now, thankfully, everybody's healthy.
Cheers, Jeff Stewart. Pull the cup out. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. As far as my neighbor Glenn goes, I'm a big fan of his, and I think what we might be dealing with him right now is a little pride. I think he made his statement, he's sticking with it, and that's fine. You got to just find your angles to keep your, this is what I'm thinking. So I'm hoping at some point he changes his tune and he jumps off the WNBA wagon and jumps onto the Giants wagon. But I hope he doesn't wait for the playoffs, because I hate when people, they're kind of negative all year and then they go to the playoffs and then they're like, I knew it, I was there all along. It's like, you weren't. You just weren't. And even some of our people in the chat have stated, like, besides Christian Schmidt and this Robert Rothberg, everybody else was anti-Giants. They thought they weren't going to be a 500 team. And so far we're 8 games above 500 and rolling. So I am excited. I think it's really cool to be doing a morning show. We've talked about this for a while, getting the grind in before the day starts, having a couple people join us. Hopefully we can do this again and have more people join us. Part of the reason doing this, and I don't like to get too, shit talky or whatever, but like I've been listening to this other program for years, and the morning portion has been really tough on my ears a lot of the time. And I don't understand. Sometimes I'm like, I don't get, a lot of this seems obvious to me that it's wrong and stuff. I don't think when you have a superstar player like Jung-Hoo Lee, that you nickname him with the Yankees slugger, Judge Lee. It's horrible. That was like, what's wrong with you? Why don't you just call him Jung-Hoo Otani? Like, that is like, no, give him his own identity. There's no Judge in here. There's no arson. There's no Yankee. This is Jung-Hoo Lee, Area 51, San Francisco Giants. So remember that. But anyway, there's not a lot to offer in the mornings. There's in the Bay Area, at least, that I can find. So we want to try to, give our little twist. And also, we're skaters. We love getting our grinds in, front side, backside, Smith, whatever it is. Coffee grinds. Christian's a big supporter of the French press, so sometimes he has to have the thicker grinds to get in there because you don't want him to go through. We love our coffee just like most of you guys do, and the whole fresh pot and coffee thing in the morning that we all, we love to play around with, that kind of Paulie created, but we've taken it to and added our own little twist. That was a huge inspiration for kind of doing this. And Pine Needle, Misbehaving, Jeff Stewart, anybody else that's out there right now, we appreciate you. Skaters on Baseball. So probably not going to go too much longer, but just wanted to, tap in with you guys and see what you're thinking. Giants baseball is on fire. Tonight is a huge game down the road at Chase Center. Got to give a shout out to Curry and Jimmy Buckets. They're going against Bang Bang, John Morant, and the Memphis Grizzlies, and it's a playing game. And the intensity, look, dude, we got the Giants on the East Coast. That starts at 3:45. it ends around 6:45. Warrior games at 7. It's like, you can't even, this is like, what? This is like birthday cake without a birthday. It's so good.
Yep. Go from hits to hoops, just back to back. And I'm hoping the Warriors break their streak of what goes on in play-in games, because this would be the perfect time for them to win their first play-in game, right? And as far as that other sport, no 49ers talk is going to occur around here.
That's right. I understand that the majority of the people out there think football is king, and football can be king, but not on our station. Well, the reason we do this is because there's not enough of this. I think that what we're trying to do is talk more about the passion that we have for baseball and the San Francisco Giants. And whether it's the off season, whether it's the hot stove, whether it's spring training, whether it's right in the middle of crunch time or postseason, all year long, it's what's on our minds. We wake up and we're thinking, have the Giants made moves? What'd they do yesterday? I can't wait to get to the next game or see the next game. Like, this is our passion. So for us, baseball is king.
Yeah. And right now the clock moves slow because you can't wait for the next game, right? It's like, wait, is it really 12 hours until the next game? 24 hours till the next game? So yeah, it's an exciting time. The Giants are exciting right now, and I'm excited to be up in the morning drinking coffee and doing a little bit of this.
And Phil's Coffee is not our sponsor. I give them props because I drink them every morning. Sour vanilla. You need to pull out your coffee cup and I'll give you a nice little pour, bro. There you go. Thanks for doing it. But yeah, if you're a coffee company or anything, you want to send us some coffee, send us some beans, or send us some advertisement. We can talk about that anytime. We would love to get support from anybody. I got my friends in San Francisco that do Oro Coffee. That's like an independent little thing that they're doing down in the dog patch, which is really cool. And Juliana is a friend of mine. She did Trouble Coffee out in the outer Sunset. We got Sight Glass that my friend Toad did all the electrical in. So we're connected to some of the caffeination in San Francisco that keeps us buzzing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not tweaking and moving around all crazy. I don't know if you've seen the other guy in there that just can't like stop moving. It's like, dude, slow your roll, bro.
Yeah. You have to have the correct balance of caffeine. And lest we forget, Hunter Pence and his wife have a little coffee brand going there based in the city as well. So
I was thinking about we should try to get them on the show. One of, if not both of them, would be awesome.
Yep. And I imagine Hunter's up early like us. Yeah, I'm sure that guy's got so much energy. He's like, it's 4:30, I'm up.
Yeah, man. I follow him and his wife on Instagram, and those guys should just do a travel channel show. They're just everywhere. They're going all these remote places. And it's crazy because like they're in Bora Bora, and then the next day Hunter's on TV announcing a Giants game. I'm like, wait, what? How did you go from like just relaxing in the sun to you're like back at work? It's like he definitely brings that energy and stuff. Hey, Rick Brown, I got to tell you, man, pull out your damn coffee cup, because I am pouring, bro. Let it go. Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for joining us.
Nice. Well, shit, I got a lot of work to do today, but I'm going to try to get it all done by game time and settle in and watch Verlander go. I'm looking for good things out of him today. I think that against a team like Philly, his experience is gonna play. I really do.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think you both you and I are on the same page. I think we're not super worried about him. I think he is the number 2 starter because they wanted him to be the home opening day starter. But to me, he's more of like a 4 guy. I think Ray should be the 2. Between Hicks and him, it's kind of 3-4 interswappable. I think they're about the same, but I think Verlander's throwing in the mid 90s, and he's going to give you 80 to 100 pitches, and so it is what it is. Papusa Fiend comes through. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Pull out your coffee cup, please, and I'll give you a little pour. Papusa Fiend is my morning bro. So
nice.
Good to see him.
Nice.
Good to see him. Coleman, you drink coffee or not? Not in. They don't allow coffee in Utah or what? Let me know. Let me know. Anyway, I'm just gonna pour it. If you got your cup ready, grab it. There you go. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Coleman, what did we tell you about Tucker? Right? All of a sudden, you're calling him King Tucker. I saw that. We told you, get ready. That's a good player, and next year he'll be a Giant. So.
Yep. And he's gonna kill it at Wrigley, man. Sure. Nice.
Well, we got to get our grind going, and thanks for joining us. We'll obviously be checking back in with you. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. That's the easiest way to get notified when our next show is, because sometimes we're just spontaneous. A lot of times if the Giants win, we're like, let's just get in there and do one, So we'll see you at the other side, really. Let's go Giants. Let's go Verlander. Let's get that first win monkey off your back. You got what, 20? How many does he need to get to 300? 27 or something?
I thought it was like 30, but
okay. Well, whatever
30,
it is,
36, I believe.
You got to start moving, bro. You got to start moving, and you got to call the wife and tell her to get out at the next homestand, because I got a card that needs to be signed. So let's get Kate Upton down the street and get you some wins, and we'll all be happy, right?
Yeah. She maybe that's part of the problem right now, is that she needs to be out there.
I
needs
think
to
so.
know that she's lurking in the crowd, and it's like,
so.
Yeah, if you're not going to do it for your wife, who are you going to do it for, right?
That's right. Let's do it for our better half, as they say. Look at this. Yep. They even call me Schmitty down there. So
nice.
Guys, thanks again for tuning in, and send us any comments, suggestions, whatever you want at skatesonbase@gmail.com. That's the email to connect to us. We're also on Instagram. Christian's at BLKPRJCT, Black Project. And we have Skates on Base at Instagram also. We got a X. We're trying to get the Facebook going. We're trying to be social media. We're an older demographic trying to tap into the younger world and keep the older mentality. So it's a crazy balance, but with coffee, I think we can pull it.
Yep. With coffee, all things are right.
All right. So hope all your teams win, and I hope your teams are the Giants. Until next time, thanks for joining. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Skaters on Baseball. If you liked what you heard, please spread the word, give us a good review, or hell, blow us up on your social media if you're down. Follow us at Skates on Base on Instagram for baseball news and other fun stuff. We love comments and listener participation, so bring it with an audio clip or an email. You can email us at skatersonbase@gmail.com. We're everywhere you get your podcasts, and we'll be here all season long.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
Dude, that was one of the most mind-blowing shows I've seen to this day.
Much love.
Adios! Pelota!
See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.
That was fun, man.